computer.
Good evening.
Hello there.
How are you?
I'm good. I feel like I haven't seen you in forever. It
It has been a while. It's
has
been
been
a
a
long
while.
time.
I don't even know. Yeah, a couple weeks. Couple weeks? I don't
It's
know.
been a
Time is
while.
flying.
Time is flying and we're ready for spring. But welcome to this episode of Just Our Take. I'm Nancy Smith.
And I'm Danny Ingvis.
We're redefining ourselves tonight. That's our topic. And we're not going to make this a long episode. We talked about this. We're probably going to say this throughout the whole episode, but this could really be a long episode if we really do it justice. At our age, men and women, actually any age, we may be redefining ourselves. So this is something we definitely want to dig in deeper, maybe future. But for now, let's just look at some of the interesting things that we face and how we have to redefine ourselves when we do face it. So anyway, let's
Yes,
do
at
it.
this age. Yes, yes, yes. Lots of redefining. Okay. So you
All
want to,
right. Well, just remember this is our disclaimer, so we get it out of the way and not get in any trouble, as I always say. Although we're just in trouble. But anyway, this podcast is not to be used as a professional or medical guide, but rather entertainment and a place to share our experience, realities, joys, and woes. That's it.
Alrighty then.
Let's have fun.
There you go.
Not, but not
Don't,
medical advice.
never, never.
Ah,
All right,
maybe we should do a breathe segment again. We haven't done that in a while.
dude. We could use it after the days we had, for sure. For sure.
Absolutely, for sure.
Or we could just self-medicate.
Oh, well, not with what I have. So,
All
well,
right.
give
So let's do that. What you drinking?
drinking nothing fun. Tea. Earl Grey. But in my defense, I have a kind of a cool mug. I don't know if you guys can
Oh,
appreciate it.
the
It says the
Melissa.
Melizia Connection 2005. My maiden name is Melizia, as you know, and I had a reunion way back when. And I mean, I got these mugs done, and I've had them
Nice.
forever. And
I love that.
I use a glass mug almost every day. I just love it for my coffee, tea, or anything. But anyway,
Oh, I don't drink out of plastic, so it's glass all the way for everything.
my tea tonic tonight.
All right.
Later,
So
it'll be something. Let it.
I have some wine
Oh,
tonight
you did it.
because
You
I
did
think
it.
at the last one I promised that I was going to bring wine, so I did. And do you like my glass?
I do. What does it say? What does
It
it
just has a
say?
big D,
A big D. That's so cool. But I see the crown on it.
and the big D is kind of the
Queen.
theme for the week, but we're not going to talk about that.
Big D
Um,
as in big D as in Big Dan or big
No, more as somebody was being a big. All
big
right.
D.
Anyway, but that's a crown. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
The D
That's not me
isn't
wanting to be the king either. So just,
you can be the queen.
there's our week summed up. All right, cheers.
Cheers. I like your drink better. I'm hitting that later.
Yeah. Well,
I'm
all
switching
right.
over to let it in a bit.
Mm. This one's from France. I don't remember what it was called, but it was from France. And I said I'll open it tonight because I can commit to drinking this between tonight and tomorrow. I have a
That's good.
paper due tomorrow, so I need to
Oh, maybe you should drink and write the paper.
maybe. It's about
Interesting.
ethics in the workplace. So I threw a lot of
Mhm.
words on a paper. When I go back and look at what I wrote at 10 o'clock the other night, it's going to be interesting.
Well, ethics in the workplace, and that's for work. You have to write a paper for class
It's for school.
school. Okay, that's good. Well,
Yeah, no.
what's school?
For my CPM program, for the Certified Public
Ah,
Manager program,
okay, okay. I didn't realize
which
that.
goes until July. And if it doesn't kill me, I'll
Well,
be a CPM
that's
certified.
excellent.
Yeah. Okay.
Certified,
Excellent.
certified public.
When we talk about redefining ourselves, let's have the conversation about why
See,
I can't
there
get
you
the
are.
hell out of school. Okay.
That's what we do. Well,
Yeah.
that's interesting. That's great. Well, tonight, are you at a crossroad? Hmm.
Mm.
Maybe it. So when we sat down to this episode, I sought out to do this as a therapy session because I am definitely at a crossroad in so many different respects of my life. And I think most of us women who all are listening, this is the time for us to have a good time together. Kumbaya. Let's talk about
Kumbaya.
what we're dealing with.
Kumbaya.
Let's,
I
let's be
didn't have
real.
that on my bingo card for tonight.
All that. Anyway, so that is a fact. And I don't think this is just for women. I think men.
Oh,
But
for sure.
although you
Yeah.
can be at the crossroad at any time in your life, and that's why sometimes you need to redefine yourself. And that's what I thought this episode we're dedicating to redefining ourselves. So here we are. There are a lot of things that we face that definitely force us to redefine ourselves.
For sure.
And I have a whole list of things, and I call them factors, but it's really things that we face. So, it could be returning to work after having children. It can be changing jobs, upping your career, post-divorce, post-marriage, taking care of a parent, letting the kids fly the nest, becoming yourself again, redefining that part of your life. That's huge. Especially for
Yep.
me, I can start with that one because when I had children, which I never knew for sure that I was going to have children. I thought I didn't want to be 60 for me personally and not have had children. So that was my defining factor. That was my decision making, really, that I said, well, when I'm 60, I want children. I want them to be there in my life. And for me, when I had children, I was like, oh my gosh, and it's probably, it's nature doing this. It pulls you right in. You have to enjoy it or nobody would do it. And I was like, oh, this is my fit. I feel like this is where I should be. And this is what I kind of meant, set out to do and didn't know it kind of thing. So it
Hmm.
was good. It was good. So you spend your time with them, you dedicate most women and men spend most of their time with their children, especially now. Things are different now. When we were
Hmm.
children, we played independently. We would go
Yep.
out, we'd ride bikes, we'd have, and we'd see our family for dinner. Afterwards, we'd do our own homework, we do our own activities. I know when my husband talks about when he played baseball, he rode his bike to baseball and he came home. His parents never saw a game. He never,
Oh,
they
sad. Yeah.
never went to college to see
Hmm.
him. My mother and father never saw me in college, never came to my campus. Like, how you go
Really?
to New York? No, they never did.
Wow.
And
Okay.
I was in Happy Valley. I mean, it was a fun place. They never came up. There was never that engagement. Now it was the times.
Yeah, it was
You
different.
didn't
It
do that with
was,
your
yeah.
children. But now our children are such a part of our life.
Yeah.
We enjoy them. We share the same hobbies.
Mhm.
It might be theater with your girls. You enjoy that. Music. Todd enjoys that with the girls. They're both musical, sing beautifully, I must add.
Mhm.
And no, they're amazing. And the things that we do, we enjoy with. And like now,
Mhm.
I do things with my children. It may be traveling. It may be vineyards and breweries and dinners and music. We do all this with our children. We enjoy them as friends as they've gotten
Same.
older.
Yes,
Now
absolutely.
they leave. Now you say,
Yeah.
oh, now they're not here anymore. You do fill a void. You do feel a void, and then you have to fill the void.
Yeah.
But this comes down to redefining who we are as individuals, who we were before children and after children. And either you have a spouse or you do it on your own. I know a lot of people are on their own and they enjoy their own time. It
Yep.
depends on the situation. So
I mean,
very cool.
children, I'm a totally different person before I had children. I think that children made me more confident. Children made me more focused.
Mhm.
I definitely always wanted children, but what I will say, about them being adults, is I just said to my sister-in-law last weekend, was because her daughter turned 15, um, and I had said, I know 15's tough because it feels like they're about to leave the nest, and that's a whole nother change. I said, but I have loved my kids every step of the way. Not just loved, I've liked them every step of the way. Were there ages that I'm sure were more difficult, but my kids were very easy teenagers. Um, but I said, I love my kids as adults. As we sit in New York, I don't have to worry about them. They're so self-sufficient, but they still want to do stuff with us. And I think that that's love. So every time I tried to mourn, I almost mourned one change, something else great happened with them and we were able to just grow together. So I do think you grow with your firstborn. I didn't have Grace until I was 31, 32. Or about to be 32. So you grow with them, you change with them, you grow up with them, but also I love them being adults. I love
I do
cursing
too.
around them.
I
I
do
love
too.
that Grace can have a drink if she wants with us. She doesn't
Yeah,
usually drink, but she
yeah,
can if
that's
she
fun.
wants. And it's just a different thing. So
So
every
when they
change
leave,
doesn't have
though,
to be
it's just
horrible.
no, and she's not living at home, so you do deal with that. And when
Oh
when
yeah.
Annette decides what she's going to do, and you never know. And I know with my guys too, I still have. It's funny when they were 15. I thought, oh my goodness, I only have so many years for them to be here. Our kids are still with us to some degree because of Ethan's still in school and Delaney's
Hmm.
just not that long ago, and so they're still establishing themselves. I mean, first of all, it's financially crazy, so but it's nice. It's really nice. But you do need to redefine yourself when your children leave and who you are and what you do and your hobbies and
Yes.
things. So if you have a spouse or you truly enjoy doing things together or your own or your job goes to a new level and it requires more of your time or whatever it is. So it's a good thing.
Yeah,
It's hard
I
though.
agree. I agree.
It's hard, and a lot of parents don't see it coming. I do suggest preparing for it if you can. Understanding that your children do these, keep your hobbies going, keep
Yeah.
your relationships going, keep your spouse relationship going. You have to really look at it. We're here to have children, to grow up and fly the nest, out of
And
the nest.
there are people who actually have children and that's all that ever defines them.
That's
And
true.
so
That's true.
I worried about losing my independence. Like I remember thinking about it when I was going to go change my name, that like I don't change my name. I like my name.
That's funny.
But then once I did it, and I was so happy that when my kids came, that I had the same number, the same name as my children. I know that my husband loved me
That's
having his name, but he would have
that's
been
key.
fine if I kept my name.
Yeah.
Um, so I do like that. But there's people that like just only define themselves as through their children, and you have to be an individual. You have to be a person. Sometimes I'm too independent and too much of my own individual to a fault. Like I don't
Right.
ask for help or that. But it's scary. And I remember thinking that, oh
It's,
my God, this is all I am now. I'm just a mother. And then, but actually, that was the
well,
right.
which
I
was
remember thinking I was just a mother,
that's the mother.
but that
Well, you did stop. I think you stopped working completely for a
I,
while.
I did for a while because
And
Todd
that
got
can put,
sick. And so
right.
I
And
had no
that can put you,
choice.
yeah. And that can put you in a spot.
It did.
That
It
can put you
scared
in
the
a
crap out of
spot.
me.
Yeah. Yeah, I
It
get it.
scared me. But I didn't,
One of the things
I
I
never
thought
figured
about,
out how to stay home though. The minute I stopped, it was like, all right, what are we gonna do, Grace? So we went out with Rita and Haley and we ran errands and we
yeah.
went to the playground. And but next thing you know, Grace, I had Ella, which was great to be home when Ella, and then we did then I got into PTA, start running the PTA, and everything from when Grace was 5 led to where I'm at right now. So her
Good.
being born led me probably to where like literally why I'm at this job.
See, I didn't stop. I didn't stop. Now, I did go part-time. I made things easier for myself and just I had the flexibility to be with them. I was with them so much, but I didn't stop for many reasons, but it just didn't work out that way. So
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. It was a blessing for me too. So
I
to
didn't
do,
think I was going to stop. That wasn't my plan. I was glad that I did because I have a problem with work-life balance
yeah,
and not being there was probably the best
yeah.
decision for me. So I never look back and go, I wasn't there. So Grace was 17, 18 months when I stopped working. And then it helped when I was going through in vitro with Ella. And then I was there for a long time. But we did volunteer stuff, but it was all on my schedule. It was a
That's good.
lot of volunteer stuff, but I didn't go back to work until 10 years ago.
It's good though. It worked
Yeah,
out for
no,
you.
it was good. And
You
and there
redefined yourself at that
it
point and you
really
went
did.
back into the workforce. That's great. Well,
It
there's a
was a
lot of
struggle.
things. There's a lot of things that redefine ourselves. And I always joked, and it was one of the episodes, and Pete, I named an episode. We call ourselves because we oftentimes we're still taking care of our children, even if they're grown children, and then
Yeah.
we start taking care of our parents, as you very well know.
Yeah.
Deep into that, and and there's a lot to it, but. I wanted to call the episode "The Sloppy Meat in the Middle" as a sandwich. Pete didn't think that was a great name.
Although, if you called it sloppy meat in the middle, we might get just as many views as we did on the what do we call it? Hall
I'll pass.
pass. So it's all about the title. So
Well,
maybe we call on that and
I'm
then we like
telling
bait
you,
and switch.
right. I sloppy meat. He goes,
Sloppy meat
I
in the
don't really
middle.
think you want to name the
Terrible.
episode that. I'm like, well, that's sometimes how I'm feeling. It's the
But
the
no, that
sandwich
I mean
generation.
that's a good way to sum it up with the parents and the children. And your
Well,
children are in their 20s, but you never
and I'm
stop
taking
taking
care of
care of them.
parents now, well, for
Yeah.
sure, but I'm also taking care of parents. So it was funny. I listened to another podcast. I always mention my podcast, and the reason why I do that is because that's where I get a lot of
Yeah.
my inspiration or my knowledge. But anyway, there's the podcast Pivot. I told you about this, and Scott Galloway and Kara Swisher, they're brilliant. But she said we should dedicate an episode to taking care of our parents because that is it's such a big part of their lives and most people's lives. It really is.
Oh,
You
that would
always
be
do
a good
your
episode.
mom.
Yeah. Just the
Yeah, that no,
challenges.
but that's what they had said. But I definitely think that's one of the factors that we need to redefine
Yeah.
ourselves.
Yeah.
I don't know about that, but I just know that
I don't know.
it does pull you
I think
pretty
it's
thin.
too raw right now, probably, especially for you.
Oh my goodness,
Um,
too much
and then
going
I
on.
think between, my parents, my father and my
Yes.
in-laws, like they're all at different stages. They all may be a couple years apart, but they're all different stages. Where your mom's at, where my dad's at, all very different. So it's such a range. Yeah. It
It's a lot. It's a
it's
lot.
crazy. It's a
It's a
lot.
lot.
It's tough.
Well, this is going to tie into my no judge zone, and we'll talk about that when we get to it.
Okay.
But I have a little bit of a beef, a little bit of an axe to grind with my own. But I'm not saying I'm right. Again, you can't judge me on it, but we'll talk about it. But another thing I think that redefines us at our point is career growth. And this is something that you and I were speaking about before we got on air here and decided to record. So it's a big thing for women and men, but especially women who return to the workforce to, the changes with our career. And I'm in the midst of a change just by fluke, by the
Mm-hmm.
way, it's working out. But I think that's a big thing for women. And I think one of the things I wanted to do as a business was to start a kind of like an agency for women that were returning to work, that were very smart and very involved, but stopped, took a pause, hit the pause button to have children and to take care of the household, and then want to return when the children are of a little bit more independence. Not that you're not involved just as much as you find because of the activities and things that your children do, but career growth and returning to work is a big part of our lives, more
Yeah,
so
for
for
sure.
women. I
For
think.
sure.
No, they might be Mr. Moms, same diff, they're home and they want to return. But that's a big thing for people. And you have to redefine where you fit.
And there's a whole other thing that I definitely want to mark on. I think we talked about remark on. I think we talked about it in another episode is that some women choose not to work. And if you are lucky enough, whether you have the money or not, or you're living paycheck to paycheck, but you choose to stay home with your children and you are a stay-home mom,
Hmm.
that is a job.
Yeah, oh,
And so
100%.
I have been on
Not
both
really a
ends of
fun
the
one with the
spectrum.
households. I'm
And
so not a
the
house. I'm
and
so
the
not a,
bullshit where people say like, well, you're a stay-home mom, you could run this. You know what? Maybe she can't. Maybe she doesn't want to. But
yeah.
a stay-home mom, when I was a stay-home mom, I was happy to like lead the PTA because I was a stay-home mom and I had a little bit more time. But
It goes to
not
show our
that much more
personalities.
time.
Not at all. And it
And
goes to
so
our
the
personalities.
working mothers were like, I work, I can't do anything. I'm like, you don't have to. Can you just go to the store and pick this up or can you donate this? And so I've been on both ends of the spectrum of being the
Yeah,
working
that's
mom, being
interesting.
the not working mom. And damn it, if you're the Mr. Mom or you're the stay-home mom,
Yeah.
good for you. Especially
Yeah.
good for you if that was your choice and you like that.
I
So,
agree. I agree.
but
But
then,
that comes
you
from
know,
that.
and I would imagine the transition's even harder for them. What do they do once the kids leave? So that's
Yeah.
just a whole nother avenue. So,
I agree.
um, yeah.
I agree. I agree. Well, I'm thrilled to be back at the in the workforce completely anyway. I mean, I was always in it, but I do enjoy too. We both are work people. And it's funny how we both ran PTAs, or we call it the
Mm-hmm.
equals. The same
Yep.
personality, we like to do it. We're doers. Get it done, gals, I like to say.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. To a fault, I will keep saying.
Anyway, so I think there's a lot of things that we redefine ourselves with retirement, things like that. That I haven't even thought about yet. I mean, I'm many moons away, so are you from retirement, but that's going to be a redefining moment too. And some people that we know can afford to retire early. In fact, I had lunch with a friend, and I went to college with him, and he's like, I am not going to work past 60. I am done. I'm done. I might volunteer or do, something else like a little bit more philanthropic. I might do something more of what I want to do. But he's planning financially. He's got himself all lined up to retire at 60 or
That's
right before.
amazing.
I
Great.
think it's great of you. And one of the women I worked with, she kind of decided to get out of it. She was dealing with a lot of stress in the job, and it was time to get out. And that's a big time too. I know my father never gave it a thought about retirement, and boy, did it hit him hard. I mean,
And
that's
I do
talk
find
about
that. I think
redefining.
there's a lot of people that have that, the anxiety. We were just talking about that tonight, even in our meeting. Like, there's a lot of people that, what's coming. I mean, two people
Mhm.
that might be 69, 70 years old, and the thought of actually retiring I don't know for a fact, might be scaring them, but people in their early 60s, like, well, what am I going to do? And you really need to be prepared for retirement.
Yeah.
Um, I think everyone should do it when they're ready. I think you should do it when you're young enough if you want to travel. But if you love working and you can't imagine stopping and you don't want to travel, you don't want to do anything else, then stay as long as you're comfortable. But I
And
think there
listen,
is
I
a
have
lot of
doctors.
anxiety about it.
There is. I think more for men. I think just old school, maybe more for men. I could be wrong, but I can sell. I work in a hospital with doctors, and some of them are 70s and 80s, and they are still completely in it. They still want to work and stay in it. So I think it's
Well,
great.
and let's not forget the fact that 70 isn't what it used to be. So we just got a part-time
That's
person
true.
working for us and she is 71. She retired 2 years ago and she's like, I just
Yeah.
want to come back. I still have my certifications and I like to work and I like to do this and she brought her expertise to the thing and she's 71. First, she doesn't really
Amazing.
look 71 at all, but I was shocked, but I was like, it's 71, but 71 is still
It's
young.
very young. We would never. I never thought I'd ever say that. And
I
yes,
never thought I'd say
it
it
is.
either, but at
It's
53, I'm
young.
saying 71 is
It's
young.
young people. Anybody listening that are younger than
We are
us,
not old.
71. We're not old, and 71 is young. And let me tell you, my dad's 86. a very young 86
I
and
can't believe
still
he's
works.
86.
It's
But
amazing.
but he's doing what? Like part-time stuff?
He
Or
does. He
he's
works
not
for
doing the
a
job he
building.
was doing. Yeah.
No, no, not his
They
career.
have to
He's
stay
very well.
busy.
He
Yeah.
does. He does. And something that's fantastic. And he's part-time, but he still has that, he's still in it. I think it's great. I think it's wonderful. Well, listen, I think there's a lot of things that help us redefine who we are at different stages in our life, and we could do justice to all of those. But I thought we'd get into our fun no judge zone. What do you think?
Judge. I'm not sure I'm prepared for the no judge zone.
I am, but
All
mine.
right. I'm gonna let you go first.
Well, mine's kind of mine actually wound up tying into this because in lieu of taking care of working and family and helping to take care of parents and whatnot, I have to be honest. I really have a hard time accepting people that are really selfish, and that's probably wrong. I think people have a right to be selfish to a point, but because I put myself out there and my husband puts himself out there, and so do my children. I mean, if Delaney's here and my mother is here and I'm in the city and my mother happens to be here for the day, just much I go to my home office, what's the difference? But Delaney will make sure that my mother has a drink or maybe something to eat or is comfortable watching TV, the TV set up for her. She gets it too. She has that let me help somebody else attitude. Let me take it to the point. And Ethan, my mother was in the hospital. He knows he should go visit her. These are things that our children do, the things that we do. I have a really hard time, and this, don't judge me on it because it's not right, but I have a difficult time with people that are so into themselves that they just can't get out of it enough to give a little to somebody else. Like that, just a phone call. Like, look how much you do for your sister. Like you know all of your sister's medical. You've been
Yeah.
completely involved with Mooch the entire time. Notice how I didn't call her Michelle. I'm not allowed on this
You're
podcast.
not allowed to
Mooch,
call Michelle on the podcast
the cutest thing ever.
forever.
She's adorable, such an adorable person, and I love her. And she's a lot of fun too. We had fun when we were watching the band and she was dancing. She's so much fun. Anyway, you've always been there for her. And so is your sister Rita. I
Yeah,
mean,
absolutely.
but you really have always done that. And if your father needs anything and your mother, when your mother was not well, I mean, same thing. We give in different ways. We do different things.
Yeah.
And you're not a chef, you're not going to be making meals, but you'll be sure if your father needs something or has a medical question or medical connection, you're there. You're there to help him. That's how we are. There are people who have nothing. They wash their hands of it. Anyway, don't judge me on being angry about that because maybe I'm doing a little more than I should. So I resent people that aren't. Not that that's right. Not that that's right. But anyway, I do have another thing. Another thing. It's not really no judge, but I wanted to tell you I got you a gift,
You
and I
got
do.
me a gift.
I
Okay.
did. I'm going to show you a little gift I got
Uh-oh.
you. Hey, you ready?
What am I looking at?
It's a fan.
Wait, is that for my hot flashes?
Do you have one?
Not right now.
No, you do.
Oh, a fan?
Not a hot
A
flash.
fan or a hot flash?
Yeah, I got you a present. Isn't it
That's
cool?
beautiful. Where did you get it? I love
I got
it.
it at World Market. They sell fans. And for the record, I keep fans in every spot in my house. The good news is I don't really get hot flashes anymore. I don't know why. Maybe I've seemed to master what it does. Like
Mm-hmm.
triggers for me or triggers for her.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna have a hot flash. Anyway, I thought I would just fan myself to show you your new present.
That is beautiful. Thank you. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. I didn't know if you had one. But I
I
thought,
do not have a one. I
it's
do
like
not
showing.
have one.
Well, I have it for you. So here's your fan.
Um,
I see you'll be cooling down.
all right. So I don't really have a no judge zone tonight because I have a couple things, but I want to add on to your thing, and I just want to say that you don't like selfish people, and I get that, and I don't think that I'm a selfish person. I told you where I was selfish.
Oh, we know about you being
Okay.
selfish.
So, um, I just want to
Does your
give.
partner know this?
Does who?
Does your partner Todd know this?
Oh, for sure.
Okay.
Oh, for sure. And if he listened to the podcast, he would know, but I'm not. I know he has listened. I don't know if he got that far. Anyway, I would think he would say something to me if he had. Huh?
Todd.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm sick of people's excuses. But I want to add on to your no judge zone. So you don't like selfish people, but I just want to take my no judge zone for this one to give kudos to my sisters. Because my sisters live closer to my parents. Now, for the record, Rita moved to Woodbury, I moved to Audubon. Then Rita moved to Woodbury Heights, then my parents moved to Woodbury Heights from Philly, and then Rita, and then Mooch and Doug moved to Woodbury Heights. So they all chose to go there.
That was their choice.
With that being said, my sisters do way more for my parents than I ever do.
Well, maybe in a different way.
So I'm in charge of medical stuff, but on a
Right.
daily basis,
Maybe.
don't judge me. So don't judge me. They are better to my parents than I am.
Oh, I can't. Well,
But I have never been my parents' favorite.
oh, that's not
No.
true.
Oh, it's true. My parents know it. My sisters know it. I know it.
I don't
I
know.
am
That
when we're
card
going
your
one,
father-
two, three.
Nah, that card your father gave you for your birthday was
He did give
definitely
me a nice
clearly
birthday
how it
card.
feels.
He did give me a nice birthday card. But
Oh, this is so not related. I got to tell you something else. This is actually quite funny. So, Pete, this has happened forever. I would go to sleep and have a dream, and it would be just, a dream. You dream your husband or whatever, and something would happen in the dream, and he would really tick me off, and I'd be really angry about
wait,
whatever it
Pete
is.
was doing stuff in the dream and you were mad at him when you woke
Whatever
up?
it was. It could have been anything. I was mad at Pete in the dream. So we
Oh,
would
okay.
wake up in the morning, and I'd be mad.
You're mad.
And he's like, "Are you mad at me for something you dreamt about?" I said, "Yeah, yeah."
Sanity, that's a no judge zone.
That was a dream. That was a dream. But isn't it the subconscious though? Isn't it our thoughts in
Well,
dreams?
what could you be mad at Pete for?
Not much. Trust me.
He's a great husband. We do
Yes,
have good
he
husbands.
is.
We're lucky.
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
We do.
Yeah, I can't complain.
Right. They always say women have the love life they want to have. Women have the love life they want to have. So whatever it is, a distant relationship, a close relationship, a business marriage, a love marriage, smoochy love marriage, together all the time marriage, they say women pick the love life they want. So
And you have your together all the time marriage.
we're together a lot.
A
We're together
lot.
a lot. Yeah.
I have chill Todd, and actually, we just have our own things. So yeah.
Hey,
I don't
listen,
know. We've talked about it before, but
whatever works.
it's what works for you.
Totally. Like
What works for you, what works for you, what works for you. I may not understand, but I don't need to understand. Just like when we talk about like people's
saying you
rights
don't
or people
understand
being gay or people this, I don't get it. I don't have to get it. I just have to respect it. It's not my thing.
I get it. I get it. I get it. Actually, I get.
No, I mean, I get it, but I'm just saying I don't have to.
You personally,
I don't have to
love
feel
men.
that way because that's not either who I'm sexually attracted to, or I don't have brown skin, so I don't get it. Like, you know what I mean?
No, that is true.
Like all those different things. So I don't have to. I just have to like you for who you are, and that's it. So, by the way, we saw Kinky Boots last night, and
where did you see that?
it was at the Ritz. The Ritz, my favorite theater ever.
Wait a minute. Is there young kids in it, or is it adults?
No, it's their main stage, so they're adults.
Oh, I would have liked to have seen that. I've never seen Kinky Boots.
I never did either. So I didn't know the whole story. I do know there were drag queens in it. But I just didn't know like the whole thing. And then actually when it starts, I went, oh, it's a shoemaker, Kinky Boots. I get it. Let me just tell you, the lead was sick. So another person had to step in.
Right.
So they gave you a heads up before he's walking around with the script. Dude, this kid killed it. Like,
oh, I love it.
I was obsessed with him through the whole thing just because he knew all the songs because he's part of the show, but he was not the lead, you know.
He's the understudy. He's the understudy, no?
But I don't even know if he was the understudy because the understudy would have known all the parts. But they had the flu going through this show, unfortunately. But anyway, not even the point. He was amazing. He was Charlie in the show, but then the main character who was the drag queen Lola was this tall black man. So everybody looked super small to him. I am telling you, he stole the show. Kinky Boots was a really good show. It was really well done, and the Ritz has been amazing. So,
That's awesome.
yeah. Anyway, off the but that just thinking about accepting people for who they are, like that was kind of like the message of the Kinky Boots. Like,
well, that's good.
You have to see it if you can see it.
You say you accept for Pete and I for having to go for coffee dates all the time together?
I mean, I'm just a little jealous that you and Pete go for coffee dates all the time. Because if my husband, I could get him to, can we go for a coffee date? He never wanted to be driving around the car, or he doesn't drink coffee.
No, you're coming with us to a coffee date, and
one of these days.
Yeah, and we've kind of done them when we go away. You know, we've done that, and you enjoy it with us.
And we did.
Now my sister-in-law's doing a coffee date. My sister-in-law.
Wait, did she move up here already?
Not yet. Not yet. I hope she moves up soon. We love her.
Oh, come on. I got to go on a coffee date local before she does.
All right. Well, that's okay. We can do a wine date. I'm fine with doing a wine date too.
Can we do coffee, then wine?
Yeah, that's exactly what you start your day with coffee and with the wine.
Yeah, let's do that.
I love it.
Okay.
Well, we did good. So anyway, let's keep this short and sweet tonight.
Wait, don't we have a can't relate? Come on. Don't you have a can't relate?
Okay, my can't relate is being on stage and being an actor, because I don't think I can. I do, now let me tell you this. If I had done it at a young age, I can't relate to letting myself be that free. I think actors and actresses allow themselves to be free. First of all, you have to allow yourself not to look good when needed. You have to allow yourself to be somebody that may not be pretty or nice. You have to allow yourself to do things that you may never want to do. That I can't relate to. I think it's amazing. I wish I was less inhibited. And I think if I was less inhibited, I could do it. I'm too worried. I'm too self-conscious about things. I think to be an actress or an actor, you need to be able to let go. I don't always let go.
I think that's a good one
Two,
because
yeah, that
I
is a good
can't
one for
relate
me.
either. I don't mind public speaking when I know something that I
I love
really
public speaking.
I don't mind. It's not my favorite, but if you look at public speaking on things that you it when you public speak and you know what you're talking about and you know all the points and you can speak freely without like reading notes, that that I'm completely comfortable with. But I am with you on the whole stage thing. And I
I
have kids that
wish
do it. My
now
husband, I do not get it.
I think it's amazing though.
You're going
I
to come
think,
out looking like crazy Mrs. Darbus or
yeah,
any
yeah,
of these things and not worry about being judged. My
that's
kids
what I'm
do
saying.
not care what other people think. I
Beautiful
don't know where it comes
people.
from, but it's great.
Like Charlize Theron. She had these roles, monster. It was
Yes.
a Halle Berry or whatever. But Charlize, like, they take themselves to a place. Like, I work all day to try to look decent so I can look in the mirror and go, okay, I'm working at this. But these people put it all out there. I love it. Can't relate to doing it. I love it. I admire it. And now, and it's funny, it took me years. In my 50 some years, it took me years to really understand why I mean, to do it. So that's pretty cool. I mean, and that can't relate. I've often thought that. I don't even think I put a can't relate on my notes this time.
I don't know if you did or not, but
I didn't.
the only thing I can't relate, and yours was funny, so I don't really want to go too deep. But one of the things I wanted to say, it was part of like our whole what we were talking about was one of the things I can't relate is people that choose to stay in unhappy marriages, one either for the kids or or so people say like, oh, I'm completely unhappy, he's miserable. Not that it's abusive or anything like that, but just like, fine, I'll just deal with it. Because I do see on the sites on some of my what are we, Gen Z? No, wait, what are we, Gen X? On our Gen X sites that it like a lot of women are like, okay, the kids are gone, I'm filing for divorce. So I see that a lot. And I'm like always like, oh, let me read this. Like, what's the
So
thoughts?
you can't relate to people getting divorced or staying in a bad.
I can't relate to people staying miserable for that long. So I have told my children for years, like we always joke around when it comes up, like, hey, listen, if when you were 15 or you were 10 and dad and I were in a terrible, because I have been in terrible relationships before my husband.
Mhm.
I have seen it all. So I guess
Interesting
that's
that you picked a healthy relationship. It's
I did.
interesting to learn from it
I
because
cannot
that's a
believe, well, which goes to me, remember our conversation earlier, how I'm not teachable? Um, that I have learned from all of my past relationships, and I married an amazing man, and he is
yes,
patient and tolerant of my crazy
yes
sometimes.
he is. Yes
He
he is.
really is. He really, he may
So
not say
proud.
anything when I talk, but he gets me, and either way, if my kids were 8, 9, and 10, I may not have been able to financially, but if I was coming home every day and miserable
Okay.
because the person
All
I was
right.
married to was trash or whatever,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
so not even that, not even abusive or any of that, but just baseline, just unhappy. My house is my castle.
Yeah.
Somebody referred to my work as home yesterday by accident, and I went,
See what
huh,
I'm saying? Do you see what I'm saying? That's what we talked about last time when you said work-life balance and you said, what drives you? What drives me is my family and my home. I love to work, but my family drives me. My
yes.
home life
And
drives me.
so
Yeah.
my family is everything. I will drop everything
Love it.
for them. But I love to work. I
I
love to
get
make
it.
a
I
difference.
get
I
it.
love to change. But when the woman said, yeah, I knew you'd be home today, and I went, did you just say home? And then we
Ooh,
both laughed. And I went, well, I am
that's
here more than I am at home. But I love my home life. I love to come home knowing that there's no drama at home. There's no craziness.
that's true.
Everybody accepts everybody for who they are. We're happy.
That's awesome.
We
Well,
try to spend time together.
on that note,
Wouldn't have stayed in a marriage if I was miserable.
I totally agree. And on that
So
note,
I can't relate.
let's end on a positive. Let's end on a positive. Well, we did it again. We had a blast. We had a 35-minute. Oh, I think my
Oh,
timer's going off. So I think our time is up.
35 minutes. That was pretty good. So we did say we were
Wasn't
going to
it
try to keep
amazing?
it like
You did great.
Ish.
So anybody listening, they can say, "Oh, thank God, these girls kept it within our time frame." Not that. Listen, if the topic warrants it, we're going to chit chat. But anyway, all right. On that note, I'm going to let you go.
Okay.
And let our people go. Great seeing you all. Keep watching us. Stay tuned for next episode.
Tell your
And
friends, tell your family.
tell your friends. Watch again. Subscribe. Somebody subscribe. I think we
Somebody
have 9 or
subscribe.
10.
We'll be funnier next time.
On YouTube, we have 10 subscribers. We're killing it.
10 whole. Am I one of them? Wait, do we count if we're one of
I'm
them?
one of them.
We need to create an email so that when we have subscribers, even if it's
Fair enough.
10, they can
Excellent.
suggest some email, some topics. Like, what do you want to hear about? What do you want Nan and Dan to talk
To
about?
talk about.
And they may
All right.
say nothing.
All
Shut
right.
up.
All right. Well, listen, thanks for listening to us. This is Just Our Take. I'm Nancy Smith.
And I'm Danny Ingves. And we hope you have a good night.